Intel launched or announced at least their pro versions of ARC graphics cards. I am most excited for these, especially in the streaming and content creator space, because they are single slot, they are bus powered, so you don't need a power supply jack, you don't need to block any other PCIe slots. They don't generate a lot of heat anyway. They can be low profile, still get you some video outputs, and get you the encoder.
These are still not the ones targeting like gaming performance stuff yet, right? This is professional work,
right?
Like, workstation PC stuff.
But for slotting in your editing PC or your streaming PC, or to keep you from needing a streaming PC, assuming they're not significantly more expensive than the already A380, which is supposed to be $130-ish bucks according to rumors, assuming they're not that much more expensive than that, which they very well could be, but if they're not, this would be the card to get for your streaming use, because single slot and all this is significantly more advantageous. And so I'm hoping to get my hands on one of these at some point, but again, if they're like 300 bucks versus 130, then it's not just get the 2 slot and figure it out. But MSI also announced a single slot half-height one that's only currently in their pre-built computer that they're shipping with it. But if they ship it on their own at some point, this might be the way to go too, because again, you want as small as possible. Like I'm currently running into, even with my Threadripper Pro build with all the PCIe slots, my GPUs are blocking slots, and I tried using a riser to run under the graphics card to like just still use my slots, and even fully breaking down the riser and like just having it where it's the bare PCB and the wire is folded in half, and then modding my GPU shroud to cut out where that would fit, I still can't get it to fit underneath the graphics card. So I want single slot GPUs whenever possible, and so literally just buying this will immediately allow me to add in another card that I need into my system and automatically be a win. So hopefully one of these comes to the US market, and hopefully their GPU division doesn't crumble. But yeah,
I got my fingers crossed, man. Competition's good.
Yeah.
Even if these first few cards come out they don't reach that performance level of like the 3080 or 4080 or whatever card is out at the time, they don't reach it, it's okay. Yeah. Competition's good.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I feel like everyone's demanding GPU competition and then immediately shutting down Intel when they try. And like, I feel like targeting the low end is a smart way to go to start out. It clearly causes the PR issue we're experiencing, but it means that they can like really supplement some of these other workflows for that to like kind of build confidence. Like the A380 was never going to be a great gaming card because the 1030 isn't a great gaming card. Like,
I don't know if you could answer this question quickly. If you can, go for it.
The performance hit?
Yes. Well, okay. I'll just read it. Kivy, would there not be a performance hit from having the video go from your NVIDIA card to your AV1 encoder card? I know NVIDIA prides itself on keeping the frames on the card when encoding.
So theoretically, there would be. My biggest concern with the performance hit has always been splitting up your PCIe lanes. I did a video a few years ago back in my apartment where, after everyone claims setting your GPU to X8 doesn't impact performance in Warzone and other bigger games, just putting a second GPU on a consumer board, I immediately saw performance decreases in games. But on modern boards, we're seeing more lanes being added now these days, and that's less of a problem. But in terms of transferring the textures, there is more bandwidth used there and potentially a performance hit. But even in my testing when I covered the 12900K, just sending a NVIDIA game rendering on an NVIDIA GPU to QuickSync on the CPU technically had less of a performance hit than NVENC in some of the cases I looked at. And so zero copy, which is keeping everything on the card, still has plenty of advantages, but I don't think it's going to be a big deal moving forward. And from what I can tell, a big flaw with my first video was using both NVIDIA GPUs. Apparently that's just a worst case scenario, because a lot of people have said they use AMD as their main and NVIDIA as second without issues, and in all of my testing, NVIDIA main and Intel secondary seems to work fine now. So things are getting better. I will obviously test that in the streaming test for that very use case and let you know, but I don't think it's going to be significant, and it's probably going to be negligible enough that the trade-off of the AV1 encoding is going to be well worth it.
There you go.